Welcome to Underground Railroad Minutes. I'm Tom Shanahan, Michigan State grad, longtime sports writer, and author of a book with Jimmy Ray on the Underground Railroad, Ray of Light. Jimmy Ray, Duffy Daugherty, the 1965-66 Michigan State Spartans, and the integration of college football. Foreword by Tony Dungy. People ask me, how did you get Tony Dungy to write the foreword? Easy, Jimmy asked him. Tony considers Jimmy a coaching mentor. These videos will tell the story of how the Underground Railroad changed the face of college football, north to segregated south, east to west. Through the 1960s, college football followed an unwritten quota of limiting its black players to a half dozen or so. This is the part of college football history most people don't understand. Duffy Daugherty was ahead of his time. In 1962, the Associated Press reported Michigan State's 17 black players were the most in major college football history. The 1950s teams were Midwest-based rosters with black stars from Michigan factory towns. The Underground Railroad was born when Southern black high school coaches began sending Duffy players in the 1960s. Why? Because they had seen the Spartans on TV and they trusted him after they met him. Daugherty had attended a clinic in the segregated South as a keynote speaker. When he learned the black coaches were denied entry, he put on a free clinic for them. This was the key point that made the Underground Railroad transformative. That and Duffy's teams winning national titles in 1965 and 1966. The chief engineer of the Underground Railroad was Willie Ray Smith Sr., a legendary Texas high school football coach who won 235 games in 33 years during segregation. He sent his son Bubba, a college football Hall of Famer, to Duffy and told him, while you're down here in the Houston area, take Gene Washington too. Gene, another college football Hall of Famer, played at rival Baytown Carver High. I wrote a story on Jerry Levias, a college football Hall of Famer and 6-year NFL veteran, that inspired this video series. Duffy and Willie Ray Smith Sr. tried to recruit Levias aboard the Underground Railroad. Levias loved both men, but when Southern Methodist coach Hayden Fry followed Duffy's example, Levias stayed closer to home as the first black player in the Southwest Conference. Jerry told me this: Michigan State should be proud of what they did. Instead of sitting back and waiting for someone to tell their story, if I was a Michigan State recruiter in a living room with a kid's family, I'd be saying, do you know the history of Michigan State? The Spartans had 23 black players on their 1965 national championship team. When Michigan State played Notre Dame in the 1966 game of the century, the Spartans lined up 20 black players, 11 black starters, 2 black team captains, College Football Hall of Famers George Webster and Clinton Jones, and the South's first black quarterback to win a national title, Jimmy Ray of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Notre Dame had 1 black player on its entire roster, Alan Page. But Notre Dame wasn't alone. USC had only 5 black players on its 1962 national title team and 7 on its 1967 national title roster. But by the Trojans' next national championship in 1972, USC had 23 black players. USC coach John McKay followed his good friend Duffy's example. I hope you'll follow this video series, my Twitter page @Shanny4055, and stories on my website, tomshanahan.report. Thanks to John Feinstein for his Storytime series, which gave me the idea how to bring the Underground Railroad to video. And thanks to Michigan State graduate Finn Boris for producing this video.